Prepare yourself for the terror. The prison of madness, where few enter and none return.
Welcome to Unsung Horrors. With Lance. And Erica.
Leave all your sanity behind. It can't help you now.
Oh, I'm a cat. I'm a sexy cat.
Welcome to another episode of Unsung Horrors, the podcast where we discuss underseen horror films, specifically those with under 1,000 views on Letterboxd. I'm Lance.
And I'm Erica.
Erica, welcome to Giallo May. It just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, maybe you should have saved this pick for June, at least.
Giallo June. No, doesn't sound as good as Giallo May.
All right.
No, but we took our 6-month hiatus.
Yes.
And this was my initial pick for Giallo January. We had to skip it. I thought, why not just plop a Giallo in the middle of 2025?
Are you wearing a yellow shirt on purpose?
Oh, I do have a yellow shirt on.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Giallo shirt on purpose.
Yeah, that's exactly why I'm wearing this shirt. It's an all-year genre. I'm going to wear yellow every day.
Okay.
And this episode's perfect. We're going to be discussing Sexy Cat from 1973. And it's a fitting May pick because this movie just dropped their Junesploitation 2025 schedule, and Giallo is one. So anyone putting together a list for Junesploitation, or anyone who, like Erica and I, changed their pick at the last minute due to like runtime or viewing availability.
Yeah.
Sexy Cat is eligible for Giallo and any free space, obviously.
And it's very short, so that helps too.
80 minutes.
I don't know if I'm going to count this one from my Giallo pick. I probably will, because it just depends on like what I already started. What is today? Today is May 25th. I started the day that the list dropped. I was like, I got to start now because my movie watching has fallen off. I need to like retrain my brain to watch a movie a day again. Yeah. And I haven't even really been able to do that. And originally I had planned to, because John and I were like, we're finally going to get to Later Argento.
Love it.
Neither of us have seen Sleepless.
I have that on Blu-ray. It's a Argento film. It's a late Argento film, I should say.
So if we have the ability to get through that, then that will be my Giallo pick. But if not, then I will slide this one right into that pick.
I am way behind on how I used to watch movies. I think I'm averaging like 5 movies a week.
Goddamn.
I know.
You're doing better than me. So.
Yeah, I don't know. It's bad. Like it's in Junesploitation. I'm a little anxious about it, but I need to start. I haven't started at all. But there's I may cheat and throw in Sexy Cat for my Giallo pick, but we'll see.
So to clarify for anyone who hasn't done Junesploitation before, this movie, 30 categories, over 30 days. There's like 5 free spaces in there. A lot of exploitation categories, blaxploitation. There's no cars this year, but they have certain actors or actresses.
Wings Hauser's in there.
Yeah.
It's a good one. They're doing Fulci, which I understand every 17th on his birthday. It's just the pick-ins, because we like to do first watches for us. The pick-ins are slim.
They're getting slim. We're doing, John and I are going to watch The Eroticist this year.
Oh, good.
For Fulci. But I did want to, this is 2 episodes in a row. We're going to shout out our friend Klon.
Oh, yeah.
He's got his own like movie challenge. What is it? Sizzlin'
Summer of Side Splitters.
Yes. Now, and I love him for this because he's like, you know what, y'all, we need some laughter in our lives right now. And, I don't like comedies. I like to wallow in my misery. I am like, no, let me lean into my anxiety and depression. So I will tolerate the this movie comedy categories. And usually I do Hong Kong movies for those anyway.
Yeah.
But I know you're participating in that. So I think our episode might be kind of like a little mix of the two.
I like that. Yeah. And what I like about Klon's movie challenge is way more doable. It's one movie a week. It's a 15-week, 15 movie challenge. which I really like, and I can do that.
Yeah.
I am picking like the later June weeks, and I'm probably incorporating what those are into June exploitation.
Okay.
But yeah, I like the idea of combining an episode, because we do our F This Movie June exploitation episode every year.
Yeah.
Let's cover Klon's Sizzling Summer of Side Splitters.
I would say that it's a little bit, I know it's like one per week for 15 weeks. It could be longer because summer is forever.
In Texas, especially. Yeah.
Summer started a month ago here.
Yeah, and it'll go through November.
Yeah.
At least.
What do you
another thing that's awesome about Klon's challenge is that you receive a reward if you complete this challenge. He said he will send one of his zines, which I have a few of. They're great. Mm-hmm. But he'll send one free of charge to you if you complete his 15-week challenge. And if you're very lucky, you might get the Roger Corman zine that he did. I have a piece in there. You should get it. If you get it and you like the piece, get it tattooed on your back. Take a picture, tag me.
Actually, I'm sorry. I know we're going to get to the movie, I promise.
We don't have a lot to talk about for Sexy Cat.
I did want. Has anyone ever gotten any of your artwork tattooed on them and sent you a picture? Really? Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, and it's like, no, they're not listening, but it's like a bad commission I did for them, and it's not like original character design art that I did. It's basically like draw. What's his name? Michael C. Hall from Dexter.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Draw him as a commission, and then like I did, and they got it tattooed on his leg. And I'm like, cool.
Okay,
that's my art on your leg, but it's a portrait.
Yeah.
My brother Cody, he has a lot. Like he gets asked to do a lot of design work. Everybody check him out, CodySchibi.com. He's a good guy. Yeah. But yeah, we'll drop a link to Klon's movie challenge in our show notes. Okay.
Along with the June exploitation for F This Movie, in case y'all want to participate, we've got a channel in our Discord dedicated to that. And that can be our June exploitation / sizzling summer side splitter. Good Lord, Klon.
It's such a tongue twister. I love it. I love it.
But yeah, we'll put that, check out our Discord. Come say hi. We have a dummy drop channel.
Dummy drop. Yeah. Sizzling summer dummy drop. Yeah, we have the dummy drop channel. You know, the June exploitation's been really active, and it's been a lot of fun looking at everybody's lists. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I'll be looking at like Mark's list. I'm like, I'm gonna switch mine and pick that, but we'll see. I have a lot of backups. My list will guarantee change.
Yes, I've already changed one actually. So,
did you?
Yeah, it was like same day change. I was like, oh, here's my list. Oh fuck, I'm gonna change one like 5 minutes later.
Yeah, some of like the hour 40-minute movies, I'm like, that's probably going to be next. Yeah. But okay, so anything else we want to talk about?
No, sorry. Yeah.
No, it's cool.
Normally we're not this chatty at the beginning of an episode, but like Lance said, we took a 6-month hiatus, and
June is a busy year for us movie watching wise. So it's trying to get into that headspace. I'm excited, but at the same time, I'm like, man, I've really dropped the ball these last couple of months. Yeah. Okay, let's talk about Sexy Cat. A quick synopsis of Sexy Cat. A popular comic book series about a crime-solving, mysterious female character called Sexy Cat is being made into a television film series. And all those involved in the production, cast, crew, even the original comic book creators, are being stalked and killed by someone dressed as the very sexy Cat. And those that are being murdered are killed exactly in ways that are in the Sexy Cat comic strip. There are a lot of random suspects, and as usual, we will be spoiling the ridiculous ending. This is mostly a Spanish production, but it combines two different types of popular Italian exploitation genres. During the time of the early 70s when this was made. Of course, Giallo, and the other being fumetti, or fumetti neri. And fumetti is an Italian word for comic books or comic strips, and it literally translates to little puffs of smoke, which refers to the word balloons or speech bubbles in comic books, which resemble small puffs of smoke. And these quote heroes of fumetti neri or black comics, they're more anti-hero or villain than traditional heroes like Diabolique. How do you say it? Diabolic?
Diabolic is.
It's just Danger Diabolic.
Yeah.
That's okay. And Criminal. And Fumetti were essentially Italian comic books for adults, but they served as a basis for a number of films in the late 60s and early 70s, like Barbarella and Diabolic, Satanic. And this seems to be where Sexy Cat drew its inspiration. Before we go over the cast and crew, I just want to spend just a tiny bit of time on the amazing 1973 poster of Sexy Cat. Mm-hmm. This is artwork by Macario or Mac Gomez, who did more than 4,000 poster designs. He designed and illustrated posters of all types, including Spanish versions of all the classic Hollywood films, like The Ten Commandments, Rebecca, Dr. No, Some Like It Hot. As I was looking through his artwork, I saw he did the classic prom night poster that's everywhere of the ski mask killer holding the blade. That's his design work and illustration. But Sexy Cat is such a great poster. He clearly understood the assignment. And I looked it up online, and I could find some copies that were I could find some posters that were about $170 to about $450 on better quality.
Yeah.
But I'd love to have this one on my wall.
It's a great one. It's what's the gallery in LA that like they always list they sell is movie posters, and they're always like, 50% off, we're clearing out inventory, like we're closing. And then like a month later, it's like 75% off. We're clearing. Like, I'm like, are you open? What are you doing, sir? Like, what is
They probably price them way overhead, you know?
Yeah,
it's
they're in LA, and I'm sure he's getting like all of like the estate sale bundles and like just piles of posters, and then selling them online for a huge markup.
Right.
And so even 75% off is like they're still making money on them. I don't know if they're still around anymore. I think I stopped following because I spent too much money there.
Well, I want to get a Sexy Cat poster for your collection so you can put it on your wall.
Well, this is going to actually, as soon as I get a fucking job and I can put up posters on this wall again, because like this is, I sit here and like so they can see my back wall, even if it's blurred. Like sometimes your head moves and they can see what's behind you. This is going to be aquatic horror. So all my shark movie posters, tentacles is going to go in here. I might put ape up in here too, because it's got the shark on the front with like wrestling.
Oh yeah, yes.
I know it's not technically aquatic horror, so it might not fit, but that's going to be all shark posters there. So I'm going to have that one moved over. Great White, it's going over there. That's Blue Water, White Death, and what's the other one I have? Oh, and I have on my list that I am going to buy the Japanese poster for Jaws: The Revenge as soon as I get a job. That's going to be my like gift to myself when I get a job, because it's Mario Van Peebles like in the mouth of the shark.
What?
Like underwater. Yeah, it's fantastic. I fucking want it. So yeah, I have a lot of poster ambitions right now, but I would not say no to Sexy Cat having another like good display out in full view.
Sexy cat, it's not your fault.
Okay.
Yeah, I was trying to find a closeout song, but it's pretty good, the one I think I came up with. Okay. Anyways, so Sexy Cat is directed by actor-turned-director Julio Perez Tabanero. And this is his first feature as a director. He was mostly in uncredited or very small acting roles, starting his career in the early 60s, predominantly Westerns, including an uncredited role in A Fistful of Dollars. But he had an interesting working relationship with Jess Franco, as I was researching Tabanero. He acted in one of his films called Two Undercover Angels, which I'm going to be talking about a little later in the episode. But
I saw that.
And he also shared co-directing and co-writing credits with Franco on a few films. One is an adult film called The Midnight Party from 1975.
Is that the one with Lena Romay? Okay.
Yeah, Lena Romay. I
saw that on the Letterboxd, and I was like, no, I'm not going to.
I watched it.
I saw you watched it and didn't rate it, so I was like, I'm not going to watch it.
I had read that Franco actually directed this film in 3 days.
That tracks.
It does track, yeah, given his, just his movie release, his number of movies. But Tabanero acquired it for his own Titanic Films production company, and he just reconstructed it, re-editing it, cutting it down the runtime, redubbing, rescoring. So he got a directing credit, how I guess IMDb does it. Mm-hmm. His release was originally called Lady Porno.
Oh.
But I watched it as the Midnight Party, and this seems to be Tabanero's cut down version with the dubbing. I had fun with it. Very silly. Yeah, Lena Romay stars as a very charming sex worker, and she has this threesome with a married couple and wakes up to both of them murdered beside her. And basically, it's just trying to figure out like who killed them, and if she's involved. But she narrates and breaks the fourth wall, talking directly to the audience a lot, letting you know that she would love to make love to you.
Oh, hello.
So obviously, I'm zoned in. Okay, I'm going to complete any challenges that I need to do here. Jess Franco, of course, has a role, and he also talks directly to the camera. He has funny dialogue. Very silly. I enjoyed it. The humor does run out of steam, like most movies like this do. Yeah. But if you want to see a ton of close-ups, again, this is very Jess Franco, of Lena Romay's privates, Midnight Party is your jam. Because I would say at least 15 scenes start or end with just zooming in on her vajayjay.
Okay. I mean, I've seen it, but I mean, I'll never say no to it. So
no, yeah, she's very charming in this. I feel like it deserves to be seen. She deserves it. Romay deserves it. So Tabanero also wrote a video nasty called Cannibal Terror in 1980, which has a Jess Franco co-writing credit. Again, this credit is due to the filmmaker or the director of Cannibal Terror taking scenes from Franco's White Cannibal Queen, which was shot by Franco at the same time of Cannibal Terror.
That's my pick for Junesploitation.
Is it? Which one? White Cannibal Queen? Mm-hmm. Or yeah. They share the same locations. Most of the cast members. I watched Cannibal Terror. I'm hoping White Cannibal Queen is much, 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 much better than Cannibal Terror when you watch it. Franco said in an interview that he only did these two cannibal films for the money. And he said that he has no idea why anyone would want to watch such films.
Oh, he sounds like Roberta Finlay when she's like, why do you want to watch my films?
Her commentaries are the best. Yeah. He also said that Sabrina Ciani, who starred in both these films, was the worst actress that he ever worked with, and that her only good quality was her, quote, delectable behind. But I did, like I said, I watched Cannibal Terror. I actually really enjoyed the first hour where it has these kidnappers take the daughter of a famous automaker and they run to the forest to hide while demanding ransom. And the whole banter in it is just, the dubbing it's unintentionally funny, but it was highly entertaining. And then the cannibal part starts within the last 15 or so minutes. And it's just terrible. Oh. A bunch of bongos playing over long scenes of white dudes with mustaches and sideburns with face paint on, like they're the cannibals. Okay. Truly horrible.
All right.
But still somehow watchable.
Okay.
Okay, and then Tabanero also directed a few other horror comedies. One called Hot Panties, which I couldn't find. I kind of gave up after watching some of his other movies. And then The Lively Vampires of Vogel, if I'm saying that right. But yeah, along with Tabanero, Sexy Cat was co-written by Juan Gallardo Munoz, who also wrote another Spanish giallo called The Fish with the Eyes of Gold from 1974.
Have I seen that?
I don't think it was on your... I watched it, and it has very, very low ratings from most of the people I follow on Letterboxd that had seen it. So I was worried, but I you know me, I'm stupid. I enjoyed this. I love the opening mystery. It's about a killer obsessed with fish, and this obsession is determined simply because one of the victims is wearing a necklace with a fish pendant. So he must be obsessed with fish. If you kill somebody with a fish pendant, you're obsessed with fish. Yeah. Lastly, the only other crew member I want to go over is the composer Carmela Bernala, who did the score for Sexy Cat, obviously, but hundreds of other films, including Cutthroats 9, Horror Rises from the Tomb, and Hidden Pleasures. And I like the score here. It kind of has like a classic horror, universal horror type feel. It still has the expected like jazzy Giallo vibe, but it's good. I like this music.
Me too.
The Sexy Cat cast, a lot of recognizable faces for me. Mainly because I think we've covered a bunch of them. They popped up in past episodes.
Yeah.
Lonnie Fleming, who plays Liz in Sexy Cat. We chatted about her for my No Rules November pick, A Candle for the Devil, directed by her husband, Eugenio Martin. She's in The Fourth Victim, which we were going to talk about.
Yes.
And obviously the Blind Dead films. We on the podcast just love her. And another member we've chatted about is Belgian actress Dianique Zurakowski, who plays the actress Martha in Sexy Cat. Spoiler alert, sadly, she doesn't last very long in this, but she's beautiful and awesome in it. Mm-hmm. But she starred in The Sweet Sound of Death that we covered years ago, it seems like. She's in a lot of Westerns, too, including a movie I watched called Dead Men Don't Count, which has a great score by Riz Ortolani. Oh. That's pretty much all I can say about it.
Oh, okay.
It's okay. Actually, a lot of the cast in Sexy Cat are in a ton of Spanish and Italian Westerns. Like, they're not well-known spaghetti Westerns by any means. No. And they're just like okay films. Like I'm entertained while watching them, but they're kind of been there, done that, run-of-the-mill, recycled, just fine films. Kind of like, sadly, Sexy Cat.
Yeah, I think there's enough though that I don't want to spoil like my viewing experience of Sexy Cat, but like I agree, but I do think that there's enough in there to like still set it apart above those ones that are just like checking all the boxes and then you move on.
I agree. I think it's better. Again, I think we'll talk about our recommendations, but I think it's better than a lot of the forgotten Gialli that's being restored and released. Yeah. It has a lot going for it, but at the same time, it's like I understand like a 3-star rating, or a 2.5 rating even. But yeah, I watched a lot of Westerns because of Sexy Cat, mainly because of the lead, Herman Cobos, who plays Detective Mike Cash. And he was a face I recognized. He was in De La Iglesias, is how you say his name, Hidden Pleasures, which is a movie I love. He's a director of Cannibal Man. I love that movie too. But I just want to go over a couple of the Cobos Westerns I watched, mainly because there are a few to add to your child kill list.
Oh, I know there's one, The Reverend's Cult, or something like that. I got that one already because I think I saw your review or the Letterboxd.
I did put a review in it about that one. Just to talk, that's directed by Leon Klimowski, who we've covered also, Dragonfly for Each Corpse. Mm-hmm. Starring Guy Madison, Richard Harrison. Madison plays a bounty hunter turned priest who is out for revenge for the murder of his father. Cobos plays a guy who teams up with Guy Madison. And another cast member from Sexy Cat, Mariano Vidal Molina, who plays Lieutenant Cole, who I think is fucking hilarious in Sexy Cat.
He's my favorite.
He's your favorite character?
Yeah. He's in a couple movies that we've covered. So Dragonfly and Corruption of Chris Miller.
Yes. So, and I think he usually plays like a police commissioner.
Yeah, I mean, he's got that face.
Yeah, and he's just like, he's very put off and just like, why am I doing this? Like, just a great actor. But yeah, Reverend's Cult is fine. Guy Madison, I think he's known for being a wooden actor, which kind of helps his character in this regard. But yeah, in my review, I said he's a character who can't seem to wipe a smile off his face. Maybe that's just the permanent expression of a child killer, because he accidentally guns down a little kid named Freddie.
You know what? Freddie was running out in the middle of the street during a gunfight, so that's his fucking fault.
That's true. And this is a perfect segue to Lola Colt from 1967. There you go. Pull up your phone, add it to your list.
All right, Lola Colt.
So this was co-written by the writer of Alberto DiMartino's Puma Man.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So obviously I was like, I'm watching this. No, I had reservations. But along with Cobos, it stars Lola Falana, who as the title character. And Cobos plays a man called El Diablo who's terrorizing a small town. He's literally like strapping people to like wagon wheels and blowing them up.
That's fun.
Setting fire to the church.
That's more fun.
Yeah, he's a badass in this. And the people in the town don't do anything because he has like a shitload of hostages like from everybody's family that he threatens to kill if they mess with him. And then Lola is a showgirl who shows up in town and she's like, why are all the men here such cowards? So she takes the bull by the horns and kind of saves the day. It's very cool because it's a movie in the 60s and we have a black woman who's the hero in the Wild Wild West, which you just don't see.
Yeah.
Also, she sings a lot, just breaking out in song.
Oh, well, you love that. So.
I mean, there's that. There's the Puma Man Association. There's a lot going on to like about this. But it's nothing too memorable. It's just a run-of-the-mill kind of Western copycat. But it does have that delightful child kill. It's a creepy redheaded Italian boy named Pablito. And he's gunned down as well. And all the townsfolk, I'm not like spoiling this because it's a fun scene. All the townsfolk gather around and he has some last words. And he's probably about 6 or 7 or so. It's a good kill.
All right.
So I'm going to be very excited to read your write-up. But yeah, I feel like if you go down, because this was like the 3rd child kill I watched while watching spaghetti or Italian Westerns. Or not spaghetti, Spanish or Italian Westerns. It seems like they just kind of, there's no fear in these productions.
So just fucking get that kid in the mix.
It might be good to just start watching a bunch of those movies for, I don't know.
Spaghetti September.
Spaghetti May. Okay. Anybody in the cast that you want to talk about, like highlight in Sexy Cat?
I mean, Lonnie Fleming, obviously, like, love to see her.
Yeah.
Melina is my favorite. I love that how he's playing this. He's clearly the comic relief in this, but it's funny because he doesn't think very highly of himself or his skills as a detective, which, I mean, with good reason, because he sucks at his job. But that's like the funny part of it. It
is. Well, and it piggybacks on Kobos's character, Mike Cash, who I love how he just doesn't give a fuck. And he's not like, all the ladies love him, and I don't find him that cool. No. I just love how he's like, it is what it is, you know? And he's always like at the right, I mean, he's doing a job, like doing detective work, but he's never figuring anything out on himself. No. Everything's just falling in his lap, and
he just shows up everywhere. And he's like, "Oh, that person I wanted to talk to is dead. Here's another clue." And
and it's more like, "Oh, well, I just slept with this person who was murdered. Well, here's another girl. Let's see what." He has no care, which he's a comic relief too in a lot of regard.
There's an exchange between the two of them in the morgue that is my favorite. I wrote it down because it's the quote. Yeah. They're standing like talking to each other. Both of them have their arms crossed, and one of them says, "There has to be an answer. We can't just stand here with our arms crossed." And they both look at each other and uncross their arms.
It's a good humor, and I loved the opening of this movie because it sets up the humor right away. First off, I love the credits with Gomez's amazing art. And then like a random like live action skull wearing a wig, laughing on.
Yeah.
And then the quick cut to the setup of the mystery of who like the authentic creator of Sexy Cat is. You know exactly Mike Cash is like a bumbling detective who's looking for a job. He'll take any amount he can get. So you know he's not like really, his heart's not really that into it. But another one of the actors that I didn't actually cover, his name's Benny Deus, and he plays Paul Karpus, who owns all the Sexy Cat. I just love how sleazy and angry he is.
Yeah.
There's a scene where he takes a bath, which is very weird, like, run my bath. I want a steak. Because he plays like this rich kind of production, like Hollywood director, mogul type guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, my favorite part, I think the most memorable part, I like the comic book aspect of it, in a Giallo, but it's the cast of characters. Like there's a few that are very memorable. Yeah, like I said, this is kind of a basic Giallo, but sure. It does separate itself. Like the comic book aspect, I really like.
I think it's got the one place where it really hits the mark is having the unique kills, which you have to have good kills in a Giallo. Like those are like the set piece aspect of this, and usually there is one that stands above the rest. Like you point to certain kills in Argento films, late, early, not late. And I think there's a few in here that definitely stand out. I didn't care for the snake death in this one.
Really?
Mainly because that was like the most interesting one to me. And then they killed the snake. Like
real animal death.
I did not appreciate that. So that was my least favorite for that reason.
I do appreciate how Martha, it was Dianique who's playing her role. I appreciate how she has just a machete just hanging on her wall.
Yeah.
Interesting decorating decision.
I got to appreciate, it's Chekhov's machete, I guess.
Yeah.
Whatever. Well, they didn't really show it at the beginning of the movie, so never mind. Anyway.
I think the coral snake kill kind of unsettled me because of how many close calls, like she's walking barefoot.
Yeah.
Tarantino would probably love that scene, but snakes still kind of freak me out. I always have dreams about getting bit by snakes, and that one, I liked all the kills. Do you have a favorite kill?
I think what's his name? Carcass.
Carpus? Paul Carpus?
Carpus. I kept wanting to say carcass during the movie Carcass.
Well, he became one.
Yeah. Wait. His death when he gets clawed to death and like he's there. It's great. There's great gore, like the eyeball gore.
Yeah.
That. I love a good suffocation. So, however, I will say like the plastic bag suffocation. So these kills are getting set up because they've already been written. They're part of the comic. So there's the Venetian dagger one. That's the first one. There's the coral snake death. The synthetic death is what the plastic bag one is called, which seems a little weird and generic. But watching it, I'm like, okay. The least believable part of that for a modern film watcher is someone opening the door without asking who it is, especially in this day and age. And then B, letting someone into your house when you can't see their face because it's covered by the flowers. Like, oh yeah, come on in. Thanks for, the flowers. Like never.
What I like about that scene is when I forgot what's her name. Carla was when she suffocated. To show that she's running out of air, she's painted like this silver. It looks very Star Trek television series to me, like an alien from Star Trek. But it's like this silver look. They're all kind of memorable deaths. I do like how they each have a title, the Venetian dagger. I think it's cool because they do show some of the comic strips too, which again kind of sets Sexy Cat apart from a lot of, well, not just Giallo, but just horror movies.
Yeah,
with comic book ties. And I started thinking like, comic books and horror movies, obviously there's a lot of characters like Constantine and Swamp Thing that are based off comic books. But there are a few movies that pull in like weird comic book scenes, like Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5, Dream Child.
Yeah.
With Super Freddy. Told you comic books were bad for you. That scene where he's chopping up the artist. John Carl Buechler's Cellar Dweller. Have you seen that?
No, I've not.
There's a scene where a comic book panel comes to life and kills somebody. Okay. It's like this wolf creature. That's the best part of the movie.
Yeah.
And of course, like the Creepshow films. I just anything. And we've talked about like the art in horror movies, like where it is now. And there's so much art, original art in Sexy Cat where it's just something I love watching.
Yeah.
People actually drawing live on screen. I mean, I think they're tracing pre-existing drawing, except the guy in the very beginning who's drawing like a very half-assed Sexy Cat.
Yeah.
I do love watching art in horror movies.
One of the things that I was trying to think of while, I was having that thought about like, the incorporation of the comic into this Giallo or this horror movie and thinking about some of those horror movies that have that, I was trying to think of my double feature pick and I got stuck and I don't know, like, I don't want to jump ahead to double feature picks yet, but I even asked John because I was like, I'm trying to think, I feel like there is a movie that exists, but it's like, I can't think of it, where the killer is killing people in a manner which he read about in a book. But every time I would Google or whatever their AI system is doing, all the results thought I was talking about the kills matching the kills in a book, like an adaptation. I'm like, no fucking Google, understand what's in my brain.
Yeah.
Like
I was thinking the exact same thing.
Okay. And I couldn't come up with anything. And the closest I got was my actual double feature pick, which isn't what I'm trying to figure out was. And so I asked John this. I was like, he'll
know.
He did. No, he doesn't.
Really?
John,
there is. Yeah, I'm right there with you because I was like, okay, what? I've seen something where they're either mimicking something from a book or even like a comic book or like a fable or something like something.
And then like the detectives find the book and they're like, this is just like in the book. Yeah. And like he said 7 and I was like Paradise Lost. I'm like, okay, yeah, fine.
That popped up in my search and I was like, it's not that.
Yeah, it's not that. And then I think Bone Collector came up, which I've never seen. So I was like, well, I'm not picking that for fucking double feature.
Copycat came up. A Copycat, they're copying previous serial killer murders. Yeah.
But listeners, especially if you're in our Discord or even just comment on our Instagram or whatever, if you know a movie where this is the premise, please let us know because that would have been one of our double feature picks for this because I'm stumped. Would John get stumped? And that never happens because I asked him this question last night when he got home from work and I said, okay, you have until tomorrow. when Lance shows up to get me a fucking double feature pick. Help me out here.
He's going to remember it tonight.
He's going to remember after it's recorded. Yeah.
Right, yeah. You're going to be like, fuck. You could edit it in, though.
I'm not. I won't cheat. If John can't figure it out that quickly, then that's his fault. That's
well, he to me, that he hasn't seen it, what we're thinking of. But that's kind of odd, too. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's out there. I know it's out there because I was in the same boat as you. And that's when I was like, I don't want to read about Constantine and like that's based on a comic book because I thought
From Hell came up too.
From Hell did come up for me too. Yeah. And again, I think AI is pulling from movies based off of graphic novels.
Yeah, exactly. And that was like, no AI. This is why you'll never be in charge. You stupid, giving dumb answers.
Yeah. Well, as I was watching Sexy Cat, I was thinking, a moral of a story here. Like, what's the moral? Is there a moral to this story? And it's don't adapt comics into films or television series, right? So someone should remake this and give it the Marvel treatment. Like a couple of billionaires are running this production company and they're pretty much just taking the ideas of like these poor artists and writers who come up with all these brilliant ideas and they're passing them pennies while they're making huge billions in profits. And I think it'd be so cool if there was a Sexy Cat or a character based on these original comic creators coming to kill and murder these corporate billionaires.
Yeah, that's the moral is kill billionaires.
I want to see these guys get, we haven't talked about Luigi Mangione, but this is another situation, right? But it's a Luigi in the creative world.
It's our patron saint, Luigi Mangione, please.
Have you seen the murals or the paint? Yeah, that's really great.
Yeah.
Around town in Austin, somebody's plastering these painted murals of Luigi on like old houses that are empty. And
it's a beautiful thing.
It is. But I want to see a Luigi situation in the creative world of original comic book ideas.
I like it.
But I'm guilty as charged. I watch these crappy superhero movies, so don't kill me. I'm just fucking easily influenced. Like I don't know.
I mean, I was just informed recently that the newest Marvel movie,
Thunderbolts,
yes, has a dead kid in it.
I saw that added to your list.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my gosh, she's going to watch that.
I'm waiting for that shit to hit the fucking library. I am not paying for that movie. I refuse. I have not paid to see a Marvel movie in a while. I don't remember the last one I saw. It was probably one of the Endgame movies or something.
Oh, it's so good.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
Stop it.
Endgame is good. Come on. But no, there's a quote actually from Mike Cash, Kobos' character, who says, many times losers don't make it because others succeed using their ideas. And I'm like, this is very true. And then we get to the random character, Malcolm, in the wheelchair, who says, Sexy does bad things because they've been bad to her. And I'm like, there's a moral to this story here, which is don't fuck with the people with original ideas, or else you'll get murdered.
Yeah. So speaking of Malcolm, his death is great too. Although I wish they would have found a way to show it with that big machine in the junkyard.
Yeah. And I don't know if that's a budget reason or because
probably.
It's
like, what happened? Did you get decapitated? Like
I envision him getting cut in half.
Okay.
Like at the waist.
Okay.
That's what I hoped happened.
All right. I do love though that as soon as that happened, it's like end credits.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you don't get like the extra scene of explanation or anything. No, it's like we're fucking Shaw Brothers here. We're out.
Well, I do love, we're cutting to the end already here, which is fine. The ending is this random kid with supposedly polio. He's in a wheelchair.
Can I, before we get to that though?
Yeah.
This never happens to me when I'm watching a Giallo, unless there's a priest in it. Then I'm like, oh, that's the killer. I called the killer at 37 minutes. Because I got an email. I looked down at my phone. I read my email real quick. I look up. I see Malcolm in the wheelchair. And this is the first he's been introduced. I look at him. I'm like, that's a killer.
Yeah.
37 minutes. I wrote it down. See, it's right there. And then I even made a note right there. I was right.
Yeah, all caps. I respect that.
But yeah, like as soon as I was like, this has happened before in movies that we've covered where there's a character in a wheelchair and we're like, no, you're not. You're not in a wheelchair, sir or madam.
Yeah.
I mean, you are physically in a wheelchair, but you don't need to be in one. And we'll find that out later. Yeah.
And you're right. It's very like if it's not a priest, it's some handicapped person.
Well, don't like downplay my ability to figure out who the killer is, Lance.
Well, I think a lot of people might figure it out.
I know.
Pretty quick.
I'm kidding. I'm just very proud of myself.
Well, you said it never happens.
It doesn't.
It does happen. You know the killer right off the bat.
When it's a priest or someone in a wheelchair.
That's. But no, one of my favorite scenes is you said like at the end credits where, there's no explanation. It's just like this junkyard metal saw thing turning. But when Malcolm is revealed to be the killer, the kid in the wheelchair, and how it's determined is so dumb. It's Mike Cash and the lieutenant are in Malcolm's room. He had just been supposedly kidnapped for a ransom. Yeah. So they're kind of just sitting in his room. Mike Cash is sitting in Malcolm's wheelchair and he's throwing darts. And he figures it out because he has to stand up to get the darts out of the dartboard. Mm-hmm. And no paralyzed kid could do that, which I'm like, bullshit. This guy has like tons of money. There's servants like always around him. He has a doctor. Yeah. They could easily just pull the darts out for him. He could have one of those robot claws and just pull the fucking darts out of the dartboard. But again, he didn't figure it out. Mike Cash, I guess, did figure it out, but at that point, it's too late. Like everything's already been done. He's just a bumbling detective. And does he end up killing the doctor at the end? I'm trying to remember. He doesn't. No, the doctor's the one who kills Malcolm.
The doctor comes back, like he's the one who shoots him, and then he falls into the machine, and we don't get to see how he actually dies.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate. You just see he has those cool gloves, which I guess are claws that, well, they don't have poison in it because Mike Cash got. Yeah. But they're like furry, and they look like little they look werewolf
like,
hands.
Something you'd see in like a Bakaneko movie where they have like they have the claw hands on their.
It's like what's it called? The movie we covered.
A bloodthirsty killer.
Like she had the furry hands too, kind of with the claws. Yeah. But going back to the whole, ripping off of artists and stuff and stealing people's ideas. Mm-hmm. So Sexy Cat's look, I really like. Yeah. She's got kind of, I wouldn't say it's blonde hair. I would say it's silver. People call it blonde. Maybe it's just like a restoration issue because it is dark in certain scenes. But I love her look. She's got the black mask. And I think Marvel pulled a Carpus here and ripped off Sexy Cat. So there's a character called the Black Cat, Felicia Hardy. You know what I'm talking about. She first appeared in The Amazing Spider-Man number 194, published in July 1979. Nerd! Black Cat's look is exactly Sexy Cat's, and I feel like, the outfit, everything.
Okay, I need to Google. Hang on, I don't know who you're talking about. Black Cat. If I Google Black Cat Spider-Man, that come up?
Yeah, that should come up. Or Black Cat Marvel, or probably just.
Okay, that's her.
That's Sexy Cat.
Yeah.
So Marvel, you got some splaining to do, like. Be careful. Sexy Cat might be coming for you. Okay. Yeah, so I think we've kind of blown through the whole movie. There's a lot of favorite. We've already kind of covered all our favorites. Do you have anything else that pops out that you really remember? Or, with the banter between the lieutenant and Cash. Yeah. The nervous dressmaker that they bring in for no reason, who was like a witness to the synthetic death murder. Right. He was a humorous scene. Really goofy.
I would like a Venetian dagger in my house.
Yes,
just to say that I have one.
I want a machete just on my wall too. I should start doing that. We should all have that. Seems like it would be safe. Yeah. There's a tiki bar scene that I really liked.
Oh yes, I love a good tiki bar.
Okay, I was going to ask, you're a fan of good tiki bars? Sometimes they're kind of gross because there's a lot of shareable drinks and stuff.
Yeah, I don't want to share drinks with anybody, and I am honestly not a fan of the drinks themselves because they're too sweet. Yeah, okay. I don't generally do sweet drinks at all. I can handle like one, and then like the sugar just gets to me.
Yeah, rum drinks.
I love the aesthetic.
I do too, especially if they do the presentation right. Have you been to Tiki Tatsuya here in Austin?
I have not been there yet.
It's fun. And there's one called, it's a shareable drink, but it's called the Skeleton Cruise. And it's like $100 drink.
Good Lord.
Yeah. It's always pricey at tiki bars. But this one is like, I love Tiki Tatsuya because, they have the decor. It's a great vibe, great atmosphere. But when they bring one out, like specifically the Skeleton Cruise, the whole place, the whole bar, the lights go down. There's music, there's rumbling, and then they come out and they're your server's holding it like it's got the dry ice, and everybody stares, and and you start sucking on the long straws and getting COVID.
All right. So I'm not, I know this is going to be no surprise to you. I don't like to share. Like, I'm not like a share. I'm not good about I'm like, oh, let's get the big drink and share. Like, I don't want to do that. I'm not a fan of like the whole tapas like situation. I don't like, oh, let's just order a bunch of stuff for the food. Like, I have certain friends who like love doing that shit. And every time I'm like, God damn it, I fucking hate that. I'm like, I want to order my meal for myself.
Yeah, I get that.
I want to eat. Like, what if it's like there's like, oh, one of the tapas like I really like, and I'm like, I want a whole fucking plate.
Order for yourself.
No, well, that's weird.
I like sharing, and mainly because I'm vegetarian or pescatarian. So a lot of the stuff that I order, people are skipping over for the meats. So I'm like, yeah, all for me.
Well, okay, that makes sense for you. That's fine. But I'm just like, no, can we order I want to order my thing, and then you guys do what you want, and then like when we got to do the whole like, oh, everyone gets one of each thing. And I'm like, I understand, like, oh, get to try a little bit of everything. I understand the concept. That's fine. That's why they have like those appetizers where it's like a little bit of everything. But it's like when your whole meal is that, fuck off. No, I don't want to do it.
Well, and most tiki places are just small plates. They usually don't have dinners. Like, there's a place in Chicago that I went to called 3 Dots and a Dash. We obviously they're shareables and stuff, but I don't know. They didn't have the presentation like Tiki Tatsuya. But
I do like a good tiki, like Frankie's in Las Vegas. I love that. I have 2 mugs I have 1 mug. I sold one because I need money. But like that place, I love it. It's got the great, like, the Polynesian aesthetic. I love it. Yeah. But I don't want to share a drink or food with you or with anyone. Sorry. I want my own.
Okay.
I'm not going to drink a skeleton. I'm not going to order a $100 drink.
Skeleton Cruise. I think it feeds like, I don't know.
That better be like 5 or 6 people.
Yeah, I think it's like 6 people.
Okay.
I want to say. It's like a whole table.
All right.
Unless you have like a shitload of people.
That's all more reason, because like I think about everyone's got a straw and it's like, oh, I took a sip and then half my spittle just went back down that straw.
And then I get it and I'm like, this is the best drink I've ever had.
Ew.
Tastes like Erica.
Tastes like spite.
It tastes like somebody who does not want to share. Yeah, so Sexy Cat. Like we said, I think it differentiates itself from the Giallo genre. I already said it's better than a lot of the forgotten Giallo that's being released. I would like to see, I think it deserves some treatment and a restoration. I mean, because it's better than a lot of the stuff that is getting it.
Yeah. I mean, TerrorVision put out Satanic, which is, along the same lines. Like, I think that could potentially make a good double feature. But yeah, I think it definitely deserves. I'd like to see a cleaned up version of it. I mean, the dub is fun, but like, I'd like to see a, original language.
And like maybe a short documentary of like the artist Matt Gomez. And because his art, that's what makes this movie.
Yeah.
It's all over the place. Double features.
So, I mean, I mentioned Satanic, potentially go with that. Nathaniel Thompson's review said that, he thinks Baba Yaga would make a good double feature.
Okay, yeah, that's kind of like a Fumete, Neri.
Yeah, so like I can see that. So this is the movie that I immediately thought of when getting back to what we were talking about earlier about trying to figure out like the killer is mimicking the kills in a book. For whatever reason, this popped into my brain first. And when I asked John this question, he said this was the first movie that popped into his brain, but it's not. Like, it doesn't fit that bill. Like, there's not a killer who is mimicking the kills in a book, but there is an author with a book. It is a Giallo. We talked about Argento earlier. It's Tenebrae.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I think it fits, but it's, it's definitely different enough. And so it's basically like a double Giallo. You have an an author at the sort of center of the murder mystery. Tenebrae.
I like it.
Thank you. What's yours?
This was easy. The 2004 masterpiece Catwoman starring Halle Berry. Not really.
Oh, I thought your face was serious for a second. I was like, oh, wow. All right.
No, I've still never seen that. I should.
I've never seen it either.
Really? That's a surprise. I guess that's a DC. Yeah, Catwoman's DC.
I've seen comic book movies, but like I just have never had interest in seeing that movie.
I get it.
Just because of its reputation. It's
yeah,
like,
the
it's so good,
reputation.
it's good. I'm like, then I automatically don't care.
So with all the ties that director Tabanero has with Franco, I felt like I should do a Franco pick.
Okay.
And I watched this particular film earlier in the year, and I learned that Tabanero actually has an acting credit in it. I think he plays one of the characters' butler or something. But what really ties the two films together is the movie poster. It's also designed by Matt Gomez, and it's very, very similar to Sexy Cat, which came out 4 years later. My pick is Two Undercover Angels from 1969. And this is about two female detectives who go by Red Lips, and they're on a case to find missing models and dancers. And there's a pop artist who is the main suspect. So like Sexy Cat, there's a lot of art and original paintings involved. And the killer paints, photographs, and sculpts his victims as they are murdered. Very silly, genre-bending kind of action horror. Think German/Spanish Pink Panther, or even Austin Powers with murder. Just ridiculous characters, over-exaggerating every moment, every movement, every piece of dialogue that they speak. What's his name? I always forget. I mispronounce his name all the time, but Michel Luan. He plays a werewolf Igor type servant named Morpho. It's crazy. It's good. There's a lot of ties with Tabanero, with the art involved, with Jess Franco. Two Undercover Angels is my pick. Speaking of pick, what's the next episode?
All right, next episode, I'm keeping with the short movie. Not a lot of other films to watch in their filmography.
Yeah, June's going to be busy.
So, and I feel like this could potentially go, I don't know, category-wise, but definitely just you could free space it if you wanted. I'm going with The Headless Eyes from 1971. This is directed by Ken Bateman. It has 887 views on Letterboxd. So I had originally planned to do this later in the year, but because it's, getting close to 900, I always get worried that there'll be some random surge because of something.
Right.
But this is about a continuing the sort of artist theme that we've had so far since our return. This is about a New York artist who gouges out eyes with a spoon after the same is done to him.
Why a spoon, cousin? Why not a knife or a fork?
This is short. It's under 80 minutes. And Liz Purcell, her review of it, not her full review, but one thing that she wrote in her review of it says, feels like what would have happened had H.G. Lewis made a gore picture in New York. Grim and sleazy, but never dull.
Hell yeah, sold.
Yeah.
I mean, cutting eyes out with spoons already sold too.
It's very grimy, 16 millimeter. It's on YouTube, so that's going to make it even more like fuzzy and hard to watch. So have fun with that on YouTube. We'll put a link to where you can watch it in show notes and in our Discord. So yeah, The Headless Eyes. Now, when you look this up on Letterboxd, if you see the poster for it, it looks like shit. And if it looks familiar, that's because there is another movie called The Killer Eye, which is a...
Is that what this is? Or is that... This is its poster. This is the actual poster.
Honestly, I don't know. I'm going to dig into that when I actually do my research for the episode. Because if you look up that and then you look up The Killer Eye, you're going to see the same fucking poster with just a different movie name. The Killer Eye is a god-awful... It's either Full Moon, Charles Band, something like that. Movie that I watched for my previous podcast, and it's about a literal killer eye, like a big floating eyeball that kills people. And it's very, I think it's a David Dakota movie because I remember the movie being super horny. Okay. Yeah, that movie sucks. God bless David Dakota. I love him for what he does, but I can only handle so much. All right. If you're not already, you can follow this podcast on Instagram and Facebook. You can join our Discord. There's a link in show notes. And you can follow me on Instagram or Letterboxd at X Massacre. You can find me on Letterboxd and Instagram at El Schibi. Thanks everyone for listening. We'll see you back next episode for The Headless Eyes. Bye. Bye.
Your sailboat of dreams got crushed in ice a long time ago. And now it seems to you that everything doesn't matter. You are alone. And now you're surrounded emerging at night among the stars in the sky. For the wind of a new love, the wind of hello and goodbye. The sexy cat flies on downy clouds, the blissful fairy of grace. I see you caressing the moon and the stars in heaven. To come back to life, you dip your tired body in the dying seas. Your soul is like a museum of brilliant thoughts and non-trivial things. And I would like to stay with you more, but your house is probably cursed. The devil seems to be there, into your lonely soul has he burst. A sexy cat flies on downy clouds, the blissful fairy of love. I see you caressing the moon and the stars, and I leave you.
Thank you for listening. To hear more shows from the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network, please select the link in the description.
Hey, this is Jason Kleberg from the Force 5 podcast, a show that forces a guest to come up with a movie-themed top 5 list topic, and then we reveal our picks on air. Top 5 heist films, top 5 tearjerkers, top 5 movie dogs. Every show you'll be asking yourself, what would be on my list? Guests include directors, screenwriters, actors, podcasters, musicians, authors, and even a professional wrestler. Subscribe to the Force 5 podcast, and you won't just be a listener, you'll be a list nerd. The Force 5 podcast, available wherever you're listening now.